Hi, good morning. Kev from KRT Electrical Services. Hope everyone's well. Welcome back to the channel. To be perfectly honest with you, and excuse the road noise because I'm on quite a busy road I'm working on. So, yeah, little update of the van. We've started putting stuff in place. So we've got all my Stanley Fat Maxes there, safes in place as you already know from the previous video, and other bits and pieces. But the other side I haven't really done anything with it yet. So we are still cracking on with that, but today, believe it or not, we're actually fitting some outside lights. So this is the job. So as it stands, the person that lives here has currently got this light here, which goes along in a bit of flex. It's got some chop blocks here, and then goes twin and earth under here to this junction box here, which is controlled by a light switch inside the kitchen. That then goes over and feeds into a shed. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip all this out, we're going to rip that out, that's going to have a whisker box, and then we're going to run some 20mm black conduit over here. We're having a drop up and down light here. We're also having one here in the middle of this wall here. So up down light there, up down light here. Conduit's going to run along. We're going to measure the centre of this window to this down pipe, drop down for an up down light, run it over, measure the centre of this wall from the end of the building to the window, and drop down an up down light here as well. So they're going to be controlled by a photocell. So yeah, dusk till dawn sensor effectively. So when it gets dark, they come on. That's what the customer wants, because this is obviously a pathway where they keep their bins, etc, etc, and a rear gate. So yeah, that's what they want. So what we'll do is get it all set up and come back to you shortly. Now I've marked my holes out where I'm going to drill for the cleats. So obviously this is my drop. So I've got one there, one there. These are roughly 3 apart from sometimes I move them ever so slightly, maybe 10-20mm, because it's particularly rough and I think it'd be difficult to get a cleat there. So what I'm going to do is stick it on time lapse. I'll drill some holes in the wall, raw plug them, and then we'll be ready to put the cleats in place. So yeah, we'll come back to you shortly. Right, so what I'm deciding I'm going to do, I think the existing supply cable comes out into the back of that junction box, so I'm going to keep that level. What I've done is done a very faint blue line across. So measured centre of this, that's where my drop's going to be, and then come over here, blue line, centre of this, drop's going to be there, and then centre of this wall, drop's going to be there. So yeah, that's what I do. I always mark it up. That's pretty much a level line. I've gone along with the spirit level, the stabila, so that's a level line. So I know where to put my clips now and space them. The only problem I can foresee is getting the cleats in place. This is very, very rough, so trying to get them to sit flat might be a bit of an issue. So we'll see what we can do with that, but it is what it is. I can't change the exterior of the building, so yeah. Right, so as you can see, we've put the cleats up. This part of the wall is absolutely fine because it's reasonably smooth. This wall, very textured, so some of the clips are not sat very flat. So we're going to see how we go when it comes to the putting the conduit in, but it is what it is, you know. It's a very textured or pepper dash wall, I guess, which has been painted. It's a big stones they've sprayed against the wall. So yeah, I mean, I've chipped little heads off of the top of some of the stones just to get them to sit a bit more flush, but there isn't much else we can do. So we'll start cutting some conduit, measuring, cutting, and start putting some stuff up. We have put this length of trunking up, junction, it's going to come down, put this length of trunking up across, bend, and it's going to come down. As you can see, where the walls in and out, This one doesn't clip in. This one doesn't clip in properly because that box isn't sitting quite straight, and so yeah, this I'm going to try and move them around a bit, but because of the war I don't think there's a great deal I can do about it, but I'm going to try and make it as neat as possible. But I mean, it's straight and it's neat, but when you look closely it's a little bit because of the texture of the wall really, so but there's not really a great deal I can do about it. But yeah, we'll make the best job of it we can, and yeah. So the lights we're going to fit are these light lap wall lights, the up and down Bronx up and down wall lights. So a lot of people moan about laps and the quality's not great. To be honest, some of their floodlights aren't great because I found that they leak. But actually these, I've got these on the side of my garage myself, and to be honest I've never had a problem with them. So yeah, these are relatively, I think they're about $14.99 each. So yeah, we're going to work out what sort of height we need them, and then there'll be a little drop that comes down. Try and get that to sit as neatly as possible, and then yeah, one over there, one there, and one round the corner. So yeah, we'll carry on with this conduit, and then once I've got all the conduit up, I'll start pulling the cables, and I'll do a time lapse of that. Right, so we've got that conduit up. We've got this up down like back box, so all that's happened with that is that's screwed into the stop end of the conduit with conduit screws. So we're going to do exactly the same when we do a drop there and there, and I've got my cable rule today, so improvise, adapt and overcome. Right, so we just started feeding, so take the end, push it along, and as we pull it down, take the slack from there. So I've used twin and earth before in conduit, but it's so much easier with singles and stuff, pulling them and pushing them through, so yeah. Right, so we've pulled cables through up there to here and then to this point, and now I'm just working out what I'm going to do with this junction box. So what I think I'm going to do is use one of these Whisker 308s with a couple of 20mm glands. So this is going to be running off a photocell, these lights. So this side we're going to have the conduit coming in, and then this side we're going to have the conduit going out to around the corner where there's going to be another light fitting. I think I'm going to mount the photocell underneath. So you imagine that goes up there, the photocell is going to go underneath. So I think I'm going to come out of these two glands here, or these two holes with glands, to have the black reflex going to the photocell. So yeah, what I'm going to do is prep this, and then I'll put it in position, or disconnect what's there as we speak, and put it in position. Right, so there we are. We've got the conduit coming from the side of the house and then coming out to around the back of the house, and then we've got the 20mm gland, which is going to have the flex going out to the power feeding the photocell, and then obviously going back, and there's going to be some Wagos or ideal connectors in this box here. Apologies about the use of the Nipex alligator Nipex things, I forget what they're called now, mine's gone blank. I have got one of the Whisker kits to do up these glands, but having just bought a new van, I'm still only probably half full of the stuff I usually carry, and that's one of the things I forgot to put in this morning. So yeah, it hasn't chewed the gland up too much, hardly at all, to be perfectly honest. So so yeah, if you're careful, you can do it without damaging them. So yeah, that's all ready now to be mounted in place. So that's going to go up there where that old one is, in that position, and then we're going to have to go straight onto a bend, I think, to go around where we're going to have a light around this side of the house. So yeah, that's where we are at this moment. Oh, a bit of blue sky now, lovely. Right, so what we're going to do is take this current junction box out, away. I've proven dead, so it's all fine. So we've got this twin and earth which supplies the current light, and then we've got this more twin and earth which goes across into this. No sleeving. So yeah, let's take this off. That ain't gonna work, the screws are too small. Trying to do this one-handed is a bit of a pain. So that's what we've got inside as it stands. Chop blocks, no earth sleeving, all 1.5 by the looks of it, so yeah, not ideal. So you can see the live in and then the neutral. That red and black is what we're currently going to use, and disconnect the rest of this. So yeah, we get rid of this shed feed, and obviously we get rid of this twin and earth because that's just rubbish to be both anyway. So yeah, we'll start disconnecting that and then see how we go. With this live conductor, you can see it's actually screwed through the insulation. So yeah, it wasn't even making proper contact with the copper conductor. Literally, it was just going through the insulation there. So
how not to do your electrics.
Right. So we're getting there. I've had to fast forward a little bit because I need to get stuff done. So and time's getting on, and looking at that sky up there, looks like there's an increasing chance of rain. So need to get going. But this is our last light here. Cables are in. Obviously, conduit runs over the top of the window over there to the next light here, which we've got our cables in for. Then goes here through here. This is the old twin and earth, so don't worry about this. This is going. So there's going to be one here. There's another light here. I put the whisker up, mounted that up. Obviously the twin and earth is our feed, and obviously these go off this way. And then we've got a little bit of conduit, goes around there, comes down there, which is centre of this wall, 95, and the drop there. So just got to run these cables round into this box, and then we'll all be everything will be done then. So yeah, sorry I skipped forward a bit, but as I say, looking at this sky, looks like there's a real chance of rain, and I think there's a storm forecast for the next couple of days. So yeah, I want to get this done and dusted really before that comes in. So yeah, this twin and earth on this shed, I'm just going to cut that off for the customer, and then yeah, test this and then get it all connected up. So I'll come back to you when we're putting the lights up or making some connections. Oh, let's get this job done. Wind. Right, so what we have, mounted a photocell bracket, and this is the bit where we'll wire it into. So we've got a flex, which is going to be the incoming supply, which goes into here, L1, neutral, and then the outgoing side, which is over here, L0. So these are directional, so it says you need to face this north, so this arrow this way. I believe north is that way. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll mount this photocell unit like that, so it goes as close to north as possible. So yeah, what we're going to have is another bit of flex. Obviously this is the incoming supply to it, and then we have another bit of flex going for another gland in this whisker, which will be the outgoing, which these will connect to. So right, this flex, I've stripped it with this S&R flex stripper. It's the same as the Nipex Ergo, which I have got, but it's in my other toolbox at home. so I haven't got it, and my van, as I say, is new, so it's not fully loaded. But so I've stripped this. This is obviously fine wire, and looking at the connections on the photocell, the screws go through the middle. So what I'm going to use is this little Schneider crimping set, which I think these little fork ones, hopefully, a bit tight actually. You can see we've got these small ones. Oh, this wind is ridiculous. In fact, they go in there quite nicely. So what I'll do is I'll crimp my cables on with them, and then these little fork connectors will fit in there nicely and make a nice solid connection. So I'll get that done and come back. So this is my live in, this one here, this is my live out. It does say in the instructions that you don't need to put the neutral through the photocell, so they're connected in an ideal connector, as is the earth. So we have earth continuity all the way along this lighting circuit. So yeah, what we do now is this goes up in the bottom of the photocell unit. We then connect it. It's wind, it's terrible. We connect it to this base here. Once that is in position, obviously all the connections will be underneath in there, and then we put the actual photocell unit on top of themselves. So we'll just get them in place and then photocell's all mounted up in position. Two bits of flex. This one is the feed in, feed out, both in the top of this whisker with glands. So feed in, which is going to connect to this twin and earth, feed out, which is then going to connect to these, which then obviously goes to all these lights. So yeah, that's the photocell. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit dark now, so, and it's really cold as well, so I want to crack on. But yeah, right, so that was a bit of a pain because I'm using finely stranded flex cable. What I did, used ferrules to get a better connection. But there's no ideal connectors that you can fit a ferrule in, and the only way goes that I could get a ferrule in was these two-way ones. These three-way ones I couldn't, and all these others I couldn't either. They just can't get the plastic bit, the ferrule inside. So I'm probably going to get absolutely mullered for this. What I've done is used a big chop block. I mean, these are associated with, I guess, the DIY person that does their own electrics. However, if they're used properly, sound connections, they're absolutely fine. So I've got two ferrules in this side and then one in that side, and they're all absolutely sound connections, absolutely fine. This is going to be absolutely fine. So yeah, if you don't agree with me, obviously put something in the comments, but in my eyes, yeah, Wago's ideal connectors are brilliant. You know, because you don't rely on having, you know, tightening the screws down to the correct tightness, etc, etc. So, you know, they're really, really good and they're convenient because they're really quick. But, you know, these used correctly are okay. So that's what we're doing on this occasion. So I'm going to close this whisker box up now and then move on to fitting the lights. So yeah. Right, so job's done. I fast forwarded a bit because it's getting dark and the weather's coming and stuff, so I'll just show you what I've done. So we've got one light here, we've got the whisker box here with the photocell, and then down, down, down. So yeah, good job, customer's happy. What I'll do is I'll get some lights, I'll get some more photos as and when it gets dark. But yeah, that was today's job. So it should only be a short video, or it is only a short video, but yeah, some outside lights all tested nicely, tested fine, photocell's working. Job is a good one. Right, if you like the content I'm putting out, or you find it useful or enjoyable, whatever, give us a thumb up and subscribe to the channel or whatever. It just gives me a little bit more motivation to do some more videos and to put some more stuff out there. So it's a bit of feedback, which is all good. So yeah, hope everyone's well, and we'll see you again on the next one. See you later.